Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nandi. So as you can tell from the title, today we are going to be talking about toxic positivity. So please make sure that you like and subscribe, and don't forget to share this video, and let's get right into it. First, I am going to get into what toxic positivity is. Toxic positivity is the overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state that results in the denial, minimization, and invalidation of the human emotional experience. Being happy and being upbeat and having positive thinking is a good thing, right? It's very good. We love positive people. However, it can also be very harmful, like anything else, when it's done in excess. Toxic positivity is an issue because no one can be upbeat and happy all the time. And when you are constantly positive and constantly taking away from actual human emotions, you are also taking away from authenticity. Now that I have explained what toxic positivity is, I am going to get into some examples of toxic positivity. And I know I was writing down these examples and they are so common. I have 3 examples, but they are literally so common. I see them all the time, especially on Facebook. The first example I have, let's say someone loses their job, right? So, you lose your job and the first thing someone says is, "Oh, look on the bright side. It could always be worse." Phrases like that are a form of toxic positivity because clearly there is nothing positive about me losing my job. So when you say things like, "Oh, look on the bright side," or "it could always be worse," then you are actually diminishing that person's feelings and you are acting as if the feelings that that person has are invalid. Okay, so the next example is definitely kind of touchy, but it is when someone experiences a loss and someone comes back to that with everything happens for a reason. And I think as people, the easiest thing to do is to just say something positive or say something to try to uplift their spirits. But there is a time and a place for everything. And although a lot of these words and a lot of these sayings come from good intentions, it just doesn't really help in the moment. For a lot of people, it's just the invalidation of your feelings. And the third example is when someone is feeling sad or disappointed and someone else says happiness is a choice. Now, I have heard this. I have said this before. However, I think what people forget is that just because someone has an emotional moment for that moment, that doesn't, like, if I'm sad, don't you think that I would choose to be happy if I could? Why is toxic positivity harmful? Well, first, like I touched on, it denies people the authentic support that they need to cope with their issue. Maybe someone is having, a horrible day, and the last thing they want to hear is, "Well, you choose to be happy," or, just think of something positive, or just write down things that you're grateful for. And obviously, sometimes depending on the situation, things like that can help. And it does help. But there are other times where someone may be dealing with mental health issues or, something else that's bigger than just writing a gratitude list. Another reason why toxic positivity is wrong is because it's shaming. When people feel different, overwhelming emotions, to constantly have someone say, "Oh, you can just think happy thoughts or choose to be happy or do this or do that," it makes people feel like the emotions that they are feeling are wrong. It also causes people guilt, so they feel guilty for feeling bad. Another reason why it's harmful, it takes away from the authentic human emotion. So we are not going to be happy all the time. It is, honestly, it's impossible. Like, life happens and there are little things that can piss us off, or, we can lose someone we care about, or anything. Life is just so unpredictable that it's not likely to just have the same constant emotion. I understand if it was just like, seeing the bigger picture or seeing a silver lining, that's fine. But that can happen after you address the emotion that you feel in that moment. Another thing about toxic positivity is that it prevents growth. So when people usually go through things that are hard or that makes them feel uncomfortable, they usually push through even stronger. They gain characteristics about themselves that make them evolve and grow as people over time, so that when something else happens to them, they are able to better handle that situation. When you downplay situations that happen and you just take a situation and you make it way better than what it actually is, that prevents you from growing, because you will not learn the necessary coping tools and coping mechanisms to deal with the same problem in the future. Some signs of toxic positivity are brushing off problems, minimizing other people's feelings or making them feel guilty about what they are feeling, and shaming other people who aren't positive. Let me give an example. Since positivity has gotten so bigger and everyone is like, positive vibes and everybody's feeling vibes and everything like that, I think that's great. That's cool. But I think the issue comes in where if you do have a friend who is like, she seems to be always down, or he seems to be always down, or always irritated, or always in a bad place. Toxic positivity makes you write that person off as, oh, they don't have good vibes, or they're bad vibes. And don't get me wrong, like, I know that some people can have bad vibes, but that it just takes away from actually looking at the deeper issue. Like, if you notice that a friend of yours or someone that has like a complete personality shift, I think instead of first hopping to, oh, they're just negative now, or, they don't have fun, or they're bad vibes, that maybe you should think like, oh, is there a deeper issue? Like, is everything okay? It can always be something more than just bad vibes. How do you avoid being a toxic positive person? So the first thing, which is very easy to do, is to manage your negative emotions instead of trying to deny them. Of course, nobody wants to be sad or angry or irritated or anxious. Instead of trying to mask your emotions and act like it's not happening, the best thing would be to work through those emotions. The next thing is to be realistic about what you feel. No one's going to twist their ankle and just smile and be happy about it, The next tip to avoid being a toxic positive person is to focus on listening to others and showing support. And again, like I said, when someone goes through bad situations, especially on social media, you want to reach out, you want to let people know that you are there for them. You want to say something that will uplift that person's spirit. But I think sometimes the best thing that someone can do is just be a listening ear. And that brings me into the next tip, which is do not offer unsolicited advice. If someone is venting to you and they never ask you for a response or a solution to their problem, please don't give them one. The last tip to not being a toxic positive person is to understand that people can feel different emotions all at once. You are not limited to one emotion at a time. This is not to ride all the positive vibes only people. I definitely would love to be a positive person all the time, but again, that is unrealistic. And if you find yourself, downplaying your emotions or trying to talk yourself out of how you're feeling just because you always want to remain positive, then I would definitely encourage you to not do that and to honor the emotions that you feel as they come. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe. It is right down below. And also, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.